When he was younger, Rhys was sent to the Murmuring Bosque like many promising young elves who displayed the potential to become a shaman. Despite his desires, he ended up as an apprentice of the Red Yew sage Kolfanor. Kolfanor taught Rhys the secrets of yew poison magic and the wisdom of the yew. After some time, they parted ways again, and Rhys lived the life of a hunter, though still with a kind of telepathic connection with his mentor. His past as a treefolk's pupil was often the subject of contempt and disagreement among both his superiors and his friends. Rhys was tasked with eliminating a Bogart party that raided an elvish territory. A carefully laid trap was ruined by a young archer who loosened before the word came. In the fight that broke, Rhys had to initiate the backup plan. Two giant brothers, Brine and Kiel Stoutarm, to ensure that few of the Bogarts escaped. However, using giants was strongly disapproved and criticized by his later arrived superior, Nath. Nath also killed the young archer who blew up the ambush, overriding Rhys' authority. Rhys was degraded, and from that point he shared command of his pact with his friend Griffith. Later, Nath ordered the elimination of a Bogart gathering in Porringer Valley. This turned out to be a peaceful gathering of Bogarts to share stories, the Feast of the Footbottom. Rhys informed Nath that the Bogarts are not what they seek, pointing out the presence of Auntie Thumb, one of the Bogart matrons and leaders of the calm, peaceful tribes. Nath, with a cold smile, ordered to attack anyway, revealing that he planned from the very beginning to ambush the Bogart annual gathering for their obliteration. Reluctantly, Rhys obeyed and fought, despite the disapproval of his mentor Kolfanor. Then something went wrong, and the Bogarts fell into a state of feral frenzy, starting to kill and eat fallen elves. The number of Bogarts were larger, and the elves were losing terribly. Battle-mad and beaten, Griffith found Rhys in the middle of the field. He called for Rhys using his treefolk magic, and when Rhys hesitated, he cursed him. In the darkest hour, Rhys called upon Kolfanor's magic. The result was a poisonous blast that killed everything except Rhys, Griffith, and Nath, and defiled a huge portion of the forest. When Rhys awoke, he found himself in the middle of a wasteland. Shortly after, an elvish woman appeared, claiming to be Marlin of the Mornsong tribe. Rhys realized that the blast destroyed his horns, making him an eye blight. Then he faced a greater elemental who came to heal the forest and ordered him and Marlin to leave immediately or face his wrath. Unknowingly to him, Griffith swore allegiance to Nath, and they both declared Rhys a kinslayer, traitor, and outlaw. As the only other survivor of the incident, Rhys was also the only one who could talk about Nath's mistaken judgment, which cost the lives of everyone but 3 elves. After meeting the elemental, Rhys and Marlin were found by a strange party consisting of the female flamekin Aisling, Kithkin archer Bridget Bailey, and a trio of Fae, the Vendilion clique. Surprised, he found the flamekin carried a message for him, from no other than Kolfanor, who was waiting for him in Kinsbale. When Rhys arrived in Kinsbale, he met Kolfanor after a long time. The Red Yew asked him for a service, for old time's sake, and Rhys agreed in exchange for answers for his questions upon return. Kolfanor asked him to go to the Murmuring Bosque and plant his cone there to ensure that the yew line will not die out. Rhys and his companions set out for a journey. A Merrow ferryman named Sig and an old acquaintance of Aisling brought them to the Bosque of the Dark Meanderers. During the journey, Marlin and the Fae vanished. When Rhys returned to the ferry, he found Bridget wounded and no sign of Aisling or Sig. The Kithkin claimed that the Aisling went mad, killed Sig, and managed to douse Aisling in the water at the price of her own injuries. Rhys knew Bridget was lying, but nonetheless helped her to heal. After she was healed, Bridget hit Rhys with a stone. Sig rose up from the water with Aisling's quenched body. The Kithkin took Aisling, trapped both Rhys and Sig in a net, and flew away to Kinsbale with the help of her wingbow. Thanks to Sig's ability to produce acid, the pair were freed from the net and reunited with Marlin and the strangely silent Fae. The Fae then provided them with a way of transport to Kinsbale, young kin who would carry them. When the party descended on Kinsbale, the carrier Fae were vaporized by the battle druid's elvish magic. Nath and Griffith ambushed Rhys in Kinsbale after a short hunt. Nath offered him a sword and challenged him to a duel, when Rhys taunted him, doubting his abilities to hunt by himself. Shortly after the beginning, Rhys tossed the borrowed sword towards Nath and escaped into the river. However, Nath found him, and then Nath and Rhys battled. Nath wounded Rhys very seriously, but in the end, Rhys grabbed his horns and twisted his head until his neck snapped. The rest of the elves did not attempt to stop him when he was leaving. When Rhys returned to Kinsbale, he witnessed the rekindling of Aisling by the greater elemental and the fiery demise of Kolfanor. The red yew burned bright. His madly spoken prophecy of world that is going to change and that he will ensure to be a part of the new world, being the last that rang in Rhys' ears. Rhys and the party wandered once more to the Murmuring Bosque to check on the Colfinor's offspring. Surprisingly, they found a young but mature tree folk who freshly rose from the ground and spoke to them, greeting them in the name of her seed father. Well, now you guys know how Rhys got exiled and then how he got redeemed. If you guys liked the video, please give it a like and comment and subscribe. And if you want me to do more videos like this, tell me what you want me to do in the comments below, and I'll probably just do it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.